My name is Lauren M. Keaton. I am 30 years old, and I spent almost all my savings to buy a house for my younger sister, Melissa. I spent nearly $300,000 on that house, but I was never invited to celebrate it. She moved in, threw a housewarming party with our relatives, posted pictures online, and acted like she had earned everything herself. Later, she told me money can't buy respect for the first time. I agreed with her because almost $300,000 had not bought me even a little respect from my own family. I always thought I was a strong and responsible person. I worked hard, saved money, and made careful choices. I was the person everyone depended on whenever there was a problem. Everything changed after Melissa married Nick and became pregnant. One day, my parents sat me down and said Melissa and Nick needed a house. They told me it was my duty to help them. I refused at first. They can rent like everyone else, I said. But my parents did not accept my answer. For weeks, they called me, visited me, and made me feel guilty. They said family should help each other and accused me of being selfish. Melissa never asked me directly. She simply acted like my help was guaranteed. Eventually, I became exhausted. After another stressful day at work and several phone calls from my parents, I finally gave in. Fine, I said. You want a house? I'll buy one. Within 2 months, I spent $293,000 buying a comfortable 3-bedroom home. It had a nice yard, a good kitchen, and a safe neighborhood for their future child. Legally, the house belonged to me. My name was on the deed. I paid every dollar. I planned to give them the keys myself and celebrate with them. But before I could, I had to leave town for a work trip. While I was gone, my parents took the keys from my apartment and moved Melissa and Nick into the house without asking me. My mother simply texted me, saying they did not want them to wait any longer. I was hurt, but I tried to accept it. When I returned, I visited the house. Melissa opened the door and acted surprised to see me. She was busy unpacking and did not even invite me inside properly. Nick barely looked at me. Neither of them thanked me. Neither of them showed any gratitude. I told myself they were just stressed from moving. A few days later, I saw Melissa's social media post. She was celebrating the new house with friends, family, and my parents. Everyone was there except me. The caption said, "Now we have our own place. Life is easy." There was no mention of me or the sacrifice I made. That night, I realized they were pretending the house was entirely theirs. The next morning, I went to the house and asked Melissa why I was not invited. She said it was not a big deal. I reminded her that I had bought the house. Then Nick walked in and told me not to make things awkward. I said all I wanted was a simple thank you. Melissa looked at me and said, "Money can't buy respect. You chose to buy this house. That doesn't mean we have to worship you." Then she called me pathetic and said she respected me less because I spent so much money trying to make people like me. That was the moment everything changed. I calmly reminded them that my name was still on the deed. Their expressions immediately changed. I told them they had 1 week to pack their things because they would no longer be living there. I left before they could argue. Soon, my phone exploded with calls and messages from Melissa and my parents. My mother came to my apartment and accused me of being cruel. She said Melissa was pregnant and that family should not treat each other this way. I reminded her that they had pressured me into buying the house and treated me badly after getting what they wanted. My parents did not care. They only cared that Melissa was losing the house. That was when I understood the truth. They did not see me as family. They saw me as someone whose money could solve their problems. I told them I was done being their personal fixer. If that destroyed the family, then it was already broken. Later, Melissa came to me crying and blaming her behavior on stress and pregnancy hormones. She apologized, but I could see she was only afraid of losing the house. She offered to rent the house from me. I refused. I did not trust her to pay me or treat me with respect. After she left, She sent me a message calling me a loser and saying I would always be alone. I ignored it. When the deadline arrived, Melissa and Nick packed their belongings and moved out. My parents stood beside them, angry with me instead of them. They called me selfish and said I had betrayed the family. I answered that they had betrayed me the moment they only valued me for what I could give them after they left. My mother called again and said I was no longer her daughter. Instead of crying, I calmly listed everything that had happened. I reminded her that I was forced into buying the house, ignored afterward, insulted, and then blamed for standing up for myself. She had no answer. I told her to stop contacting me and ended the call. After that, I sold the house. I did not want to keep the painful memories attached to it. I sold it quickly and moved on. Melissa sent me one final angry message saying I was petty and would always be miserable. I deleted it without replying. For the first time in years, my life became peaceful. I realized I had spent my entire life being responsible for everyone else while no one cared about me. I lost money. I lost the image I had of my family, but I gained something much more important. I gained peace. I learned to set boundaries. I learned that love does not mean allowing people to use you. And I promised myself one thing. Never again would I sacrifice myself for people who only loved what I could give them. From that day forward, I chose myself.